The Tao Te Ching is an ancient Chinese text that is central to Taoist philosophy. It is a collection of 81 poems or verses that offer insights into the nature of existence and the way to live a virtuous and fulfilling life. The Tao Te Ching was written by the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu and is said to have been composed in the 6th century BC. The Tao Te Ching is considered one of the most important works of Chinese literature and has had a profound impact on Chinese culture and philosophy. It is known for its use of paradox, humor, and its focus on the concept of Tao, which is often translated as the way or the path. The text emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with nature and embracing simplicity, humility, and non-action. Are the astute and philosophical ideas and insights in it still valuable for our time? How can these texts be valuable to modern man? How can these texts inspire us? And more importantly, do we benefit from them in our daily life, with its obligations, stress, and challenges? Let's take a closer look at that. What is the Tao? As a philosophical concept, it is the all-encompassing, self-existent, infinite, timeless cosmic unity. The source of everything and the destination of everything, without beginning and without end. It is used here to emphasize the fundamental or real nature of the world. The source from which all created things spring, and to which they return. Tao, unlike Western ontology, is an active and holistic representation of the world, rather than a static one made up of atoms. Unlike the Christian God, Tao is not described as a person, but referred to as an inscrutable deep secret. The Tao Te Ching is one of the source books of Taoism. Taoism is based on the incomprehensible everything, Tao, which is present in everything. It's about letting go and being connected to the flow of life. The Taoist philosophy is not a religion, but it can form the basis of a quiet art of living in peace and harmony. The Chinese symbol for Tao represents a foot and an ear or head with two plumes. The symbol represents the connection between high and low and between heaven and earth. Tao then means the natural wholeness of everything, including man. Explanation of the concept of Tao. In principle, the concept of Tao cannot be translated, because every word immediately contains a boundary. The Tao is completely beyond our human scale. The Tao is limitless and eternal, better yet timeless. It is the primal principle, the basis of everything. It's the how and why, the invisible visible. Earth and sky, the source, the soul, the primeval force, the spontaneous way of things. Harmony, yin and yang, the creation, the together. Water, the river, the infinite, the silence and all life. The nothing and the everything. One of the handy meanings of the word Tao is the way, the path. But it's not a road to follow. You don't have to follow the Tao at all, you don't have to go down the path. Because the Tao is there and you are already there. After all, Tao also means always and not even a way. The Tao is everything and nothing. It is not a path from incompetent to competent, or from bad to better, but a way of being. Tao pertains to our being, but also to the whole of anything, a science, a legal system, a language, a galaxy. You could call it the spirit behind it, the intention. One can describe Taoism as neither words nor deeds. At the same time also permanent movement, energy. Be like water, go with the flow. Don't resist. The ideal of the Taoists is the pure nature. The unprocessed would block that can still become anything. The absolute silence, within which everything is still possible. The axle of the wheel. The Tao is experiencing everything without wanting anything. Float on the spontaneity of life. Because as soon as you want something, you exclude something else. The Tao is dim and misty, elusive, invisible. The invisible mystery. You can talk about the Tao, but not about the eternal Tao. It is possible to name a name, but it is not the name of the absolute Tao. The Tao is the source of heaven and earth, and therefore without a name. We can, however, refer to the Tao as the mother of everything. Search for the essence of the Tao, give it up and you will find it. Full of longing we can only see the outside, the names. Inner and outer flow from the same source, even though they are separate. They both are mysteries. The mystery behind the mystery, that's what it's all about. Explanation of the concept of Wu Wei. The basis of Wu Wei, doing without doing. This Chinese wisdom, Wu Wei, a basic concept of Taoism, means not to do. Achieving something by not doing is a paradox that we in the Western world find difficult to understand. The literal meaning of Wu Wei is not to do. The misconception lies in the difference between the art of not doing and the art of doing nothing. Doing nothing is not an art. You just do nothing and then nothing much happens. The term Wu Wei is often used incorrectly by people who don't feel like doing anything. But the art of inaction can actually lead to action. Immediate action is necessary if, for example, there is a dangerous situation, a child threatens to cross the road without looking, and then quick action is necessary. Perhaps pure action is a better translation. Wu Wei is essentially about the ability to act without your personality interfering. It is pure acting, based on your instinct, your naturalness and your intuition. It is also acting as an animal does, immediately, sharply and correctly. It is called non-doing because the ego, or rather your personality, does nothing. It may observe, but waits for the moment of action to spontaneously present itself. As much non-doing as doing. That this state of being, Wu Wei, is one of the goals of Taoism, can be seen in the yin-yang sign, the ancient symbol of Taoism. The white fish, yang, stands for doing, the black fish, yin, stands for not doing. Those two forces must be in balance, then you are in balance, not doing so is only half of Taoism. The paradoxical concept of Wu Wei, do not do or act by not acting, can be interpreted as not acting against the nature of things or acting without attachment to the result. Wu Wei can also be understood in the sense of acting without ego or acting without ego involvement. From a logical linguistic point of view there is a contradiction. But after a long reflection one can find out the intention of the writer. It seems that the writer has hidden a wisdom in a paradox in order to make the reader think. Because he translates the concept quite literally as non-doing. It should be seen as a form of action. Albeit an unmotivated, non-targeted and, above all, non-disturbing action. In addition Wu Wei can also be translated as the nothingness in action. Which, paradoxically, leaves nothing undone. Wu Wei is often associated with water in Taoism, and with the way water behaves. Although water flows and offers no resistance, it has the potential to erode granite. Water does not have a fixed shape like a stone or piece of wood. It flows everywhere and can fill the smallest spaces. It seems that water does nothing and yet it does something. It's about not resisting a current, choosing from the many directions the current flows, and accepting the consequences. Taoism is not a philosophy of doing nothing, but of participating in life, nature. The ultimate goal of Wu Wei is to strive for a balanced situation, and thus to become softly and imperceptibly, in harmony with the self, others, and the environment. As long as you try to become a different kind of person than you are, a lot of energy is wasted. And usually without permanent results. If you accept yourself just the way you are, with all the weird and less convenient things, and just go along with your own nature, then your own nature will naturally seek balance. You then create an opportunity to find a natural balance between rest and activity. The balance that suits you. You can replace the balance between setting yourself unattainable goals and then giving up that fight again with a less tiring balance. If you don't go into the fight, you don't have to give up. Then there is energy left to allow the natural balance to arise naturally. Trust your own body. Trust your own wisdom. Trust in the natural healing power. That is always trying to find the balance. The secret. So the secret of doing nothing is not doing nothing. The secret to doing nothing is following the flow that is there. And then it all goes by itself. You don't have to do anything for it. Lao Tzu stated, "When you arrive at non-action, nothing will be left undone." This is the absolute opposite of our Western view. That your personal effort always coincides with the results you achieve. Wu Wei in the modern Western world. How can we use the insights from the Tao Te Ching for our own lives? The interest and willingness to deepen and open yourself. Read the Tao Te Ching. And thus become acquainted with and study other values and insights. This is a good first step. You will find out in time if they can mean something in your life. Which properties are supportive? Curiosity. The first is curiosity, because that gives an alertness. Curiosity keeps you awake and keeps you alert. Curious about everything that happens in the outside world. And curious about what's going on in your own inner world. To trust. The second is trust, a very important feature here. The confidence that life offers you the right opportunities at the right time. And that there is nothing you have to force to provide them. Dan Emmons wrote, "The problems we experience in our lives and in the world stem from energetic weakness and disconnection. From our lack of capacity to feel ourselves, each other, the earth, and how life seeks to move and evolve through us. The issue is not whether or not to act and do something, but what actually prompts us to act." So what makes us take action? By something we think we want. By wanting to remove the uncertainty of the moment. By wanting to feel different than we feel or escaping the moment in a different way. By an urge to accomplish something. Trust that when the moment for action comes, you will automatically be prompted to act, you will recognize and feel it intuitively. Patience. Third, patience. If you have closed a period in your life, it is often not closed all at once. Everything takes time, so integrating everything you have learned in the period and actually closing this period with it also takes time. By practicing patience, you facilitate integration so that you can calmly absorb new knowledge and give yourself time to gain new experiences. Confidence and patience will grow with the knowledge that everything is unfolding in its proper time. Although we would like to see confirmation of this much sooner. Letting go. The urge to control. You can let things happen without constantly interfering or adjusting. For example, at work or in your family. If you have a managerial function or responsibility for a group of people, can you let your team struggle with a problem or issue without being too directive? Can you allow the idea of a self-organized system? You distance yourself and observe, and you only monitor the process. If you have a family, you know that children develop in different ways and at different rates. They have to discover the world. You can regularly let go of the tendency to always intervene and steer this process. Even if things don't seem to be going in the right direction? Check. How does it feel to let go of control and let things happen? You can't be adjusted, you dare to trust that things can turn out well. What do you feel in your body, and what do you think when things don't go the way you wish? What is your first reaction to change something about this? Rationality. Can you relax in your free time? Are you able to let go of work or activities, or do you have to be constantly busy? Do you have no rest until everything you want to do is done, and you feel that everything is under control? If you also manage to relax when things don't go the way you want, do you tend to keep thinking until there is a solution? Practice just letting your thoughts be, look at it but don't go into it. Just let the problems be problems. See yourself as a spectator, take no action, directly or indirectly, do nothing. Goals. Take goals in hand, try not to pin yourself down to one goal you want to achieve, leave space. Be open to other possibilities. For example, if you want to follow a certain course, allow yourself to orient yourself broadly and keep all options open. Use your feeling and intuition to give the unknown a chance. To achieve your goals, it is important to be active at the right time and moments. Trust that moment to present itself. Don't put too much or too little energy into it. Either, trust that you will discover the right balance over time. The modern world constantly poses challenges. Society and the 24-hour economy make great demands on the individual. Employees are being asked for more and more commitment and dedication. The demands are high. Due to all the obligations, a field of tension can arise. The carrying load becomes greater than the carrying capacity. Investigate where your real priorities lie and give them the most attention. Wu Wei can support to walk the golden mean in this. Culture. Nature does everything at a certain time in a certain rhythm. A seed that is planted needs time to germinate and grow. A farmer sows, fertilizes, waters and waits. At some point it is time to harvest. The development of knowledge, insights and skills also takes time. There is nothing to accelerate. Man stands between two worlds, the world of nature and the world of culture. Through evolution, intelligence increased and with it, consciousness arose. Through the development of consciousness, man began to separate himself from his environment. Self-consciousness discovered an inner world. This duality separates object and subject. Non-dualism, on the other hand, is a worldview that assumes that everyone and everything are inextricably linked. Because that connection is so close, we can also view everything as one whole. The non-dual, metaphysical, experience shows that everything is one in its essence. The animal nature is still present in man, but it is under control. The animal nature is expressed in the instinctive life. Strong feelings, irrational desires and wishes. Opposite to this are free will and rationality. The ego is, as it were, between these two forces. Curbing these feelings takes a lot of energy. In Taoism, this separation does not exist. Body and mind are one. This experience gives a sense of wholeness and the ego falls away in those moments. Healthy living. The experience of unity begins in the body and not in the head. The easiest way to let go of mental and emotional baggage is to make contact with your body. Chinese movement art is based on the principle of inner experience and development. If you learn to accept the entire spectrum of your emotions, by making contact with them, a unity will slowly emerge. For Western people who are in their heads all day, this is an effective way to get into the natural state of being, that feels so spontaneous. Out of your mind, in your gut, in your body. Balance. In Taoism, the concepts of harmony and balance are important. Not too much and not too little. This applies to all aspects of life: moving, resting, sleeping, eating, drinking, money, possessions. Do not exhaust your body and reserves. Try to live sustainably. Be moderate in your desires. Determine how much you need. When is enough enough? The age-old wisdom and insights feel surprisingly modern. Effortless action. Called flow in the West. Flow refers to a mental state in which a person is completely absorbed in his or her activities. An important element here is that you only focus on the now, and the actions you are doing at that moment. At those moments, loss of self-awareness occurs. One is completely absorbed in the activity and forgets oneself. For example, with driving, after a while you no longer have to think about the actions of switching, braking, etc. You can sometimes drive long distances without consciously doing this. You suddenly think, hey, I'm already here. This can also happen with sports, for example with tennis. If you are completely absorbed in the game and don't think, everything will go by itself, a problem only arises when you are ahead in the match. If you have set yourself the goal of winning, there is a chance that you will move more convulsively and the automaticity that you had before is gone. This increases the chance that you will lose. Wu Wei can be compared to this: just let it go, act spontaneously, naturally, effortless action, take goals in hand. Acceptance. Everything is always in motion, in a continuous stream of changes. Some situations are undesirable or unavoidable. Adversity, loss of work or possessions, death of loved ones. Illness, old age and eventually death. In Taoism, the source of all suffering is always some form of desire. For example, the desire that things would not be as they are. Acceptance starts with opening yourself to the truth. You allow reality as it is now. Therefore, accept what you cannot change. When you stop resisting, you free up space for processing what happened to you. Don't swim against the current. Swimming against a river exhausts you. You lose your energy and eventually the fight. And that is also the core of acceptance. You will find peace and freedom if, even in difficult times, you can accept life as it is. By not wanting anything, not having to change anything, not resisting and leaving everything as it is. Simplicity and minimalism. The Tao Te Ching emphasizes the importance of living a simple life, free from excess and distraction. This can be particularly relevant in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, where it is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget what is truly important. Personal growth. The Tao Te Ching can be a valuable resource for personal growth and self-improvement. Its teachings on humility, simplicity, and living in the present moment can help individuals cultivate inner peace, self-awareness, and a deeper understanding of their place in the world. Thoughts around nothingness. First of all, nothingness in the Tao is closely related to emptiness and silence. Where there is nothing, something can happen. Tao Te Ching says about this: there is space in the void. 30 spokes meet in the hub of the wheel. It is the hole in the center through which the wheel works. We bake a pot from a lump of clay. The empty inner space makes the pot usable. We hack doors and windows in a room. These holes make the room habitable. They provide access to other worlds. Usefulness arises where there is nothing. Or as Lao Tzu stated, when you arrive at non-action, nothing will be left undone. Thanks for watching.